So Netflix finally dropped the Devil May Cry anime in 2025, and no one knows how to feel about it. Is it good? Is it a betrayal? Is the showrunner controversial for his political views and adaptations of video games? Well, yes.
I don't understand a thing in this game, bro. This game has done nothing but just confuse me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand what's going on.
I had this really nice script which I was proud of for this video. It's like Samurai Jack met Devil May Cry in a dark alley, and the result was a masterclass in visual storytelling. I talked about how the show clearly deviates, but offers a unique take on the franchise. Yes, Lady was annoying. I mean, objectively, she makes very bad decisions, given that she's brainwashed. Dante is also barely in the show, and it's barely Devil May Cry. But Episode 6 was a masterclass in visual storytelling, and while it made me hate Lady even more, the bunny had a good story. He seemed badass, and to me made the show worth watching. Shit, I mean, Kevin Conroy is in this. How could you not watch it? But after I finished it and enjoyed it to an extent, I saw a lot of critique for the show, and I did some research as to why people really disliked it. At first, I thought it was diehard video game fans that thought this was too loose of an adaptation, and I didn't think that was a fair critique. I mean, it's a younger Dante, of course it's gonna be different. I didn't really have a problem with him taking a unique approach, but then I found out who Adi Shankar really is. The man is publicly associating himself with the streamer who said the people dying in Gaza deserve no empathy from him because they come from an inferior race. Wow, even the demons would be shocked at that one. And before I get into this one, politics is annoying, I get it. It's inescapable and polarizing nowadays more than ever. I also think you can separate art from artist, in most cases. See, this one seemed like a unique case. Seeing his association with Asmongold sent me down the rabbit hole because honestly, I was confused. Castlevania was a pretty good show. I mean, I'm not caught up on it anymore, but early on it spoke heavily on the church being hypocrites, and at one point in history it really was. And I'm saying that as a Catholic, but I accept opposing views as I was taught to, and I understand how corrupt people in the church were and can always be. It seemed like Adi was a brave showrunner, willing to tackle topics that would catch a lot of flack from people like Asmongold. But then I dove deeper and it started to make sense. You see, in an interview about the DMC anime, Adi Shankar mentioned Calcutta, a place in India that is severely dense and has tons of pollution. Sounds familiar, right? Then I realized that hell is basically Calcutta in the show. I mean, that was a choice. Initially watching it, I didn't take too much of an issue with the analogies. I saw the parallels for refugees, the critique on the Iraq invasion, but it took me personally a second look to realize how detached this literal one-for-one portrayal of immigrants is. I guess the media demonizing immigrants just took on a whole new meaning. The best way to describe this is that Adi wants to portray nuance but ends up doing the exact opposite. Hell being the equivalent for refugee states is ironically the extreme patriotic outlook that America should not be moving towards. That we're some sort of saviors for an inferior race. Did Asmongold write this? I have nothing against Nepo babies because they didn't choose to be born into it. They just were. And just because you're opposing political view does not mean I hate you. Politics do not describe a human. There is so much more to it. With that being said, Adi Shankar seems severely detached from society because of his nepotism. And for whatever reason, he tries to play both sides of politics by writing about the corruption of colonialism, patriotism, and religions in his show, but then showing up to support the president who clearly supports the opposite. I mean, this is why his shows end up not nuanced. Looking back on it, he tries to portray America as the complete bad guys, but still, I ain't accepting no refugees if there's a literal gigantic demon on that side. And to make it worse, he makes the nice demons look nice, like they're completely non-threatening, which just makes it even more confusing. Because you mean to tell me that none of these people have the critical thinking skills to go, oh, maybe they're not all bad, maybe we could work with them. I mean, I would listen to anything Kevin Conroy says too, who am I kidding? It really sucks. I did a full 180 on this show. I enjoyed it as someone who hasn't played the games, and I almost defended it. Almost. But doing research on it just sent me on the complete opposite path. I can separate art and artist, which is why I can say the show as a standalone is good. No matter what people say, it's still animated well, and narratively it does make sense while there's some questionable choices. But finding out who Adi was made it harder for me to separate the two, and also pointed out how some of the writing is not all that great, which, no joke, was done by himself and a battle rapper.
One had a line insulting me where they referenced the fact that I'm a writer outside of battle rap, and it made Joseph realize, oh shit, Kid Twist is a writer. I should contact him and see if he wants to work together.
I bet his novel is shit!
His novel is shit! It makes that graffiti in the men's room on top of the sink comparatively read like it was Oliver Twist!
When Adi announced this project, people expected stylish action, demon-slaying chaos, and Dante wisecracking his way through hell with a slice of pizza. And there was no pizza. This show gives us a younger Dante that's barely in it, and it takes Lady in a weird direction. There are scenes where she's given all the agency and uses it to derail momentum, undercut emotional beats, or just generally be hard to root for. She's not just flawed, she's aggressively written to be morally muddy. And while that could be compelling at times, it also means that she's shouldering the burden of a fan base who came for pizza surfing chaos and got generational trauma, which, look, does make for a good episode. But then, you know, spoiler warning, she creates the biggest villain of the show, leads her team into a death trap, doesn't question the government's intentions, and almost ends these demons that clearly help her. I wanted to like her, I really did. She's badass, but I couldn't. I mean, reasonable people who are upset about her character are not mad because she's stronger or written with more depth. If that's why you're mad, then you don't like women. You like men. But if you're upset at how much she manages to mess up in the show, that's a fair take. She's the most prominent character and in many cases unlikable. As badass as she can be, it's so hard to bypass her actions and then her random cursing.
Motherfucker, fucking fuck, fucking motherfucker, fucking.
Swearing doesn't make you cool.
Not only is this not a faithful adaptation to DMC, but it is the most detached white knight view of immigrants and refugees. I mean, it's like Adi is exactly what he's trying to critique. Nonetheless, adapted to a game that is all about devil-killing goofiness with character focus on the human side and the demons that matter. Even if this had been a well-written version of refugee issues, DMC is just not the series to adapt that to. While I initially thought it might work, looking at it for a second time shows me that this just ain't it. While I am realizing that and people tend to agree, there's also a lot that enjoyed it. To which I say, fair enough. At first glance, this seems like a good enough show. It's got a kick-ass soundtrack and is animated pretty well. So even with questionable writing, if you don't look at the show for what it really is, it can be enjoyed. Who knows, maybe the second season they'll let Virgil cook. Maybe Adi will figure out what political side he's on. I mean, all I know is I gotta play those games ASAP. They look fun. So this is probably one of the more controversial videos I've made. Not that I'm a stranger to that, but I had to make this. I genuinely enjoyed the show at first watch, and I'm not afraid to hide that. Because like I said, I'm gonna be honest, if I don't like the creator but they made a good show, then I'm gonna admit that. But the reason where this is a case where it's hard to separate the art and the artist is almost directly contradicting the points he's making in the show he's writing. So I don't know if it's his way of trying to play both sides and appease to both, but it really throws me off, and I just didn't like that. So at first I wanted to make a positive video talking about how good episode 6 was and how good the show was as a standalone, but I couldn't. I just couldn't. If you're new here, I do these like outros in person just to let y'all know what I've been up to, what I plan on making videos about, and the upload schedule that doesn't exist, as you could tell from the channel. But what I've been watching, I watched Black Mirror, There are some really, really good episodes this season. If you've never watched it, I have to make a video. That's actually going to be one of my upcoming videos, I think. And I've been watching a lot of Chinese animation, like To Be Hero X. Amazing first episode. That will also be some video at some point, because that was amazing. I really could not glaze that anymore. So yeah, I'd say that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think. You know, this was a really like back and forth. Maybe I wasn't clear enough. Y'all might be confused how I feel about the show. To be honest, I'm pretty confused. Like, I definitely don't like Adi Shankar now, but the show was pretty good, I guess. Then again, there was so much like very detached things. I mean, making the demons like Muslim it was a choice that he made, very questionable. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. If I missed anything, anything I should talk about, any other show, please let me know, and I might see you in the next one.